everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I am going to be doing a best class setup as well as a weapon guide for the VKM-750 light machine gun here in Black Ops 4. So of course guys, welcome back to another weapon guide video here on the channel. In this one, of course, we are going to be tackling the VKM-750, which in my opinion, I think that the VKM is the best light machine gun in the game, so that's how come I want to go ahead and do a weapon guide video on it. So guys, of course, in this video, what I am going to be covering, and that's the first thing, I am going to be discussing the VKM-750, then I am going to be moving over to a creative class with the weapon, and then finally I am going to be talking about some things that you guys want to know about the weapon, as well as things that you want to know about the class overall before you go ahead and use it. Also guys, to know about the gameplay, it is actually a TDM game here on Arsenal, and honestly it was a really awesome game. I ended up going 46-2 with the Dark Matter VKM. Honestly, if I played it a little bit differently, I might have been able to get a nuclear because I started off the game and I ended up going on a merciless, then I ended up getting a bloodthirsty a little bit later, then finishing off the game, I was actually on a 17 gun streak, so if I played it a little bit differently, I might have been able to get the nuclear. However, nonetheless, that's going to be the gameplay that you are going to be watching for this video, and of course this video is actually going to be in two separate parts, being that the first part of the video is actually going to be a sit down commentary of me doing a weapon guide for the VKM, and then the second part of the video is actually going to be a live commentary of me using that particular creative class. Also guys, let's see if we can hit 10 likes on this video. That would be absolutely amazing. And yeah guys, now that I got the intro out of the way, let's actually dive right into the video. So guys, of course, the first thing that I am going to be talking about in this video, and that's going to be some notes about the VKM-750. If you guys actually did not know, the VKM is actually the last light machine gun that you unlock in the game, being that you unlock this particular weapon at rank 52. The VKM is a high damage, low recoil, as well as moderate fire weapon. Interestingly enough, the VKM actually has the slowest fire rate of all the light machine guns in Black Ops 4. And with all that in mind, the VKM is a very consistent as well as low recoil and precise weapon in Black Ops 4, being that you can take out enemies very effectively at medium to longer ranges, and interestingly enough, you can actually take out enemies quite effectively at close range. However, one thing that I find very interesting about this particular weapon, and that is, since the recoil on it is very low, you can very effectively take out enemies that are head glitching, which is going to be extremely useful, especially if you are going to be playing on a map such as Nuketown or Arsenal, where there are a lot of head glitching spots. So that's the reason why I really do enjoy using this weapon in Black Ops 4, and it's actually my favorite light machine gun in the game. So yeah guys, now I am going to be moving over to the creative class that I have for this video, and guys, as you can see, the creative class is going to be on your screen right now. So of course guys, we are going to be using the VKM with that Dark Matter camo. Honestly, I really do like how Dark Matter camo looks on this weapon, so that's how come we are going to be using it. Moving over to the attachments, our first attachment is going to be rapid fire, and that is just because, as stated a little bit earlier, the VKM actually has the slowest rate of fire of all the light machine guns in Black Ops 4, so with that in mind, I am going to be using rapid fire just so that way we can bump up the rate of fire, in turn making this weapon shoot a little bit faster, which is useful because that is in turn going to be decreasing the time to kill. Moving over to our second attachment, we are going to be using fast mags, and that is just because, of course, the VKM is a light machine gun, which means that the reload speed is going to be quite slow on the weapon, so if you put on fast mags, it is going to be helping out significantly with that reload speed. Moving over to our third attachment, we are going to be using grip, just so that way we can reduce the recoil, making this weapon a little bit more accurate. And then for our final attachment, we are going to be using quick draw, and that's just because I noticed that with this particular weapon, the time that it takes to get your iron sights up is actually quite slow, so if you put on quick draw, it is going to be reducing the ADS speed, which is going to be really useful for this particular weapon because the hip fire on this weapon isn't really too great, so whenever you are going to be trying to take out enemies, make sure that you're aiming down sight. So that's how come we are going to be using quick draw. Moving over to the gear, we are going to be using stim shot, and then for the perk setup, we have scavenger, and that is just because you do not want to run out of ammunition. And then for our third perk, we are going to be using ghost, just so that way we stay off the radar. So yeah guys, that's the creative class that I have for this video. Now I am going to be moving over to some things that you want to know before you go ahead and use this class setup. So that's the thing, this particular class setup, even though we're using a light machine gun, is supposed to be a very mobile class setup, being that you can run around, take out enemies, and kind of use it as an assault rifle. Interestingly enough, this weapon is extremely effective at all ranges, being that you can very effectively take out enemies at medium range, longer ranges, as well as you can take out enemies quite effectively at close range. When it comes to point blank range, that's where this weapon isn't really too great. However, you still have to keep in mind that it is a light machine gun. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for the weapon guide portion of this video. Now I am going to be moving over to a live commentary of me using this particular class setup in Black Ops 4. So yeah guys, enjoy the live commentary. Hello everyone and welcome to the live commentary portion of this video. So guys, as you can see, this is a creative class that we are going to be using. And of course guys, I decided to go ahead and switch it up a little bit and actually use a reactive camo. And this time I am going to be using the reactive camo that was originally for the swordfish, which is actually called Death Reel. And guys, as you can see, this is what it looks like at the start of the game. And once you get 3 kills, 6 kills, and then 9 kills. Honestly, I am a big fan of this reactive camo, so that's how come I am going to be using it for this particular video. However, a little bit later, I might go ahead and switch it out to diamond or dark matter, who knows. So yeah guys, now that I got the intro out of the way, I'll see you when I join up into my first game. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are going to be joining up into our first game, and this time we are just going to be playing a game of standard TDM here on Nuketown. And let's go ahead and see exactly how well we can do in this game. And guys, as you can see, this is actually what the reactive camo looks like on the VKM. This is actually my first time that I ever use this particular reactive camo on the VKM. Most of the times I like to either use dark matter or diamond camo. Wait a second, there we go, that's our first kill. And that's one thing that's pretty interesting about this weapon. Honestly, I really do like it because it's very consistent. It's just one of those weapons that you can use game in and game out, and it's going to be performing the same. And there we go, that's another kill. Because that's the thing, I noticed that for some weapons in the game, they're not really that consistent. Some games, they do absolutely incredible. And you're able to absolutely melt players with them. However, then the next game, they become absolute hit marker machines, and they're not very consistent. However, with this weapon, that's not the case, and it's very consistent. In some cases, you can even count the shots that it takes to kill a person. Let's go. And there's another kill. Alright, we're actually on a bloodthirsty, and as you guys can see, this particular reactive camo is actually changing a little bit. There's another person. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to play a little bit more defensively. Because oddly enough, my teammates don't really want to push up, and they just want to camp in the house, so that's kind of unfortunate. However, at least we're winning, so that's pretty good. And yeah guys, if you'd like to, feel free to comment down below, have you actually used this particular weapon in Black Ops 4, and also feel free to leave your thoughts as to do you like this particular weapon, because that's the thing, if you ever played Black Ops 4 during October as well as November of 2018, just after the game released, everyone used this weapon, because at the time this was the go-to light machine gun as well as the go-to weapon for a lot of people, and then people switched over to the Hades, and then when they found out about the operator mod for the Titan, people started using the Titan a lot. Which is kind of unfortunate because this is a really good weapon in the game, and it's honestly my favorite light machine gun. And yeah guys, something that's pretty interesting, and that is a little bit earlier today, Treyarch said that they want to start making more weather variations of pre-existing maps in the game. Examples of this would be Seaside Sunset, Hurricane Contraband, as well as Fringe Nightfall, which if you guys would like to, feel free to comment down below your thoughts on that, because in my opinion, I don't really mind, because honestly I think they are pretty cool, especially since they change around the feeling of that particular map. However, one thing that I think would be really interesting, and that is instead of just weather, they also start doing skins on particular maps. For example, you have the map Nuketown, which there is the standard version of Nuketown that was already in Black Ops 4. However, I think it would also be cool if, let's say, they had variation on Nuketown, however it was the Black Ops 1 version of Nuketown. Or the Black Ops 2 or 3 versions of Nuketown, however they're all in this particular game. Honestly, I think that would be really cool, and a lot of people would like them. And honestly, they could do that for other maps in the game. For example, they could have a variation of Firing Range, however is Studio, which was the remake of Firing Range in Black Ops 2. And that's the thing, those are only just 2 examples, however I think it would be really cool if they did that. And yeah guys, feel free to comment down below your thoughts on if Treyarch were to do something like that. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are going to be joining up into our second game. And this time we are going to be joining up into a game of TDM here on Payload. So yeah guys, that's where I'm going to be ending off this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it down below, as well as make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on so that way you guys will not miss a new upload from me. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.